Welcome to Caching Waves. This is an Elliott Wave update for ORDI. Currently ranked number 90, and it has a market cap of 686 million with a total supply of 21 million. Now I've been looking at the two different charts here. This is the coin market cap. It has us just starting with a sell-off, where if I go to the crypto chart, which is right here, ORDI, it shows us with a peak instead of just selling off. But because of that discrepancy, you see a lot of noise on beginning, on new projects just releasing. So I'm starting my significant count from this low over here and just ignoring this on the left. And we'll change our point of view based on what happens in the future. But I've mentioned this before on new projects. We either come up and reject, like we did in Flare, which I showed you that in 3 waves, and we just start selling off to the downside, or we break through. We broke through over here too. We break through the previous all-time highs and we find support above. Now this is one of the coins that is looking like it's going to find support above the previous all-time highs. So just look at that difference. I'll bring up Flare again. See, we come up, try and break all-time highs, and we reject, and we come up in 3. We come up in 5, and we drift sideways trying to find support. So I just wanted to show you that differential thing on new projects. This is why I look for this pattern over the one like Flare. Okay, so now that we got that, I'm going to throw the count on, and we're starting at the significant low. So very nice clean 5-wave pattern. Clear separation, lots of volume, extensions, very, very nice. Very nice. This looks really good. I was given this through somebody on Twitter, one of my subscribers on YouTube, very much appreciated, to take a look at this. This wasn't even on my radar, so this is really nice, potential future setup. First thing I want to point out is I want to find consolidation at the high. Remember, at or above the previous all-time high is the ideal structure. You can see we have very clear 5 waves. I mean, anyone brand new at Elliott Wave could label this. We have a nice triangle, wave 4, 5th spikes up. Wave 1, 2, sideways light consolidation, deep retracement for wave 2. I also threw on a pitchfork. It was too steep for the 1 and the 2. But this 3rd wave, as you can see, was pretty much ideal for the pitchfork. We drift outside of it, 4th wave's done, off to our 5th, right? So anyways, just wanted to show you that on the pitchfork. It respected it all the way up. And off that, we got a 3-wave move followed by a 3-wave move, making a new high. So I have this mapped out as a ABC, 335 with a diagonal, then had an X wave. This was actually a first attempt to break out to all-time highs. You see we have a completed correction. It came in the pretty much the ideal time frame, but couldn't get the buyers to step in to break out to all-time highs. So when that happens and it fails, that's when we get our X wave and we need a larger correction. So always keep in mind when you're playing these that it can always fail. It just means we need more time to consolidate, right? As long as we're drifting sideways, we're still good. So I have this mapped out as a WXY. I do not necessarily think the bottom's in yet, but we're getting close. So I pulled our fib pull from the beginning of wave 1 to the end of wave 5, not the B wave high, the wave 5. So this was our flat pattern, looking for another 3-wave, looking like a zigzag right now. That pattern can change, but right now looks like a zigzag. Not yet complete. So one thing is our W wave off our X, we've already come through the 0.618 extension, which is the minimum requirement, as you know, and we've also dropped below the W wave. So technically we can be complete, technically, but I don't like the shape of it, because the way I would count this, if someone was like, how can we be complete here? It would be an AB with a flat in between, right? It's kind of a sketchy count unless we hit like a 1-to-1 and get a nice clean 5 off of it. Again, it can be technically complete, but also if you look at the time between the W wave and the Y, you want somewhat of symmetry in time, the right look. Now there's no real time guideline for WXYs, but you still want at least the right sort of look. So my best assumption right now is that we are working on the C wave and the Y wave. Now, the way that would pan out is a couple different ways. And you also have to realize too that we could also still be in the X wave, where we come over here and we haven't started our Y yet, because we are still technically in the B zone or X zone. Like so, you can see we just ticked up. So within the X, this can be an A, B, and we get 5 waves up as a C wave to complete our X in a flat, and then we get another 3-wave move to the downside. So that's tradable, but you just have to be aware of it, right? We'd probably stop in this trend line I have mapped out. So you can see how it's kind of a sketchy wave right now. Obviously, I prefer us just come down now and complete. That would be the ideal setup for us if we just come down straight now. So the way I have that potentially mapped out is a couple different ways. This can be a zigzag. This could be our wave 2. Come down in another zigzag, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5, and we come for a diagonal to complete our C wave. That's one option. Option 2 is this is a 1, 2, 3. This ends up being a 3-wave move. Come down, make a triangle, then get our 5th. So this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In this scenario, we wouldn't overlap with wave 1, even though we are right now, because it's the end of the correction. That matters, right? So that would be scenario 2. If we just grind sideways for the next bit, look for one more drop to the bottom and look for a reversal. That would come right into our zone I was looking for. I have mapped out as support. And those are my 2 main counts right now. Either we're still in the X wave and we need another ABC as that flat, or we're going to make a diagonal or a triangle in an impulse. But we're getting close. So you can see our 1-to-1 is there at 24.34. That lines up with our resistance and a 4th wave from 1 lesser degree. 2 lesser degrees, sorry. And that would line us right up between the 382 and the 50 on log scale. So that's all looking nice for the future, just not quite ready yet, I do not believe. Now that can change. Again, technically it bottoms in if the B wave is over here and that was a running flat and that's our ABC complete. But I always find more times than not, if you're relying on 618s, they tend to be wrong as bottoms more times than not, even though it's the minimum requirement. And we hit a 618 for this W wave and a 618 for this ABC. So unlikely. I wouldn't put that as high probability. If this ends up being a diagonal, it would most likely, like I said, be a C wave in an ABC, and we just extend our correction longer. But right now I'm sidelined on this one. I'm not getting in right now. I want to see that pan out. I would be interested if, for example, we do get that 5-wave move, but we don't get rejection for the Y wave. And this is technically our bottom. And what that would look like is if we get a nice 5-wave, we actually break above this channel and we consolidate sideways above it. At this point, I would be interested in a long if we make a pattern like that. But until we get that, I'm just going to have my alerts ready on this one, below at the 1-to-1 and above this channel line. And at that point, I'll probably update this chart again But as of right now, this is what I'm looking for, the Y wave to complete to get our larger 1-2 in play. Now targets for that are kind of all over the place. It'd probably be on a linear scale rather than a log scale, because log scale is insane, like thousands. But for a standard wave 3, the -1 is a good indication. It's just the extension of wave 1 off the top of wave 1. It usually lines up with the 1.618 extension if we pivot around the 50 and the 618, and that would be around about 180. So that would be my estimate if we come down between the 50 and the 618, this kind of zone. It would be a little higher if we don't. All right, guys, so that's ORDI. Thank you for that one. If you see patterns like this on coins, please let me know. Leave it in the comments. We can let the community know on this channel, because this has a very high potential in the future of doing very well, and we might as well all take advantage of it. But if you don't see this, please don't just ask me to analyze a random coin if you don't see a good setup. I'll take a quick look at the chart, but I probably won't make a video or anything, because a lot of times it's just not worth the effort unless the potential is there, right? All right, guys, but I appreciate if you do find those, leave them in the box. Just put 1-2 potential, and I'll take a look, and if it's valid, I will make a video on that. All right, guys, that's it for this one. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.